Was glad to have found this video the other day. Then I didn't like it at all. I got bad vibes about Krishnamurti. I'm not gonna play the whole thing, but if I have to play the whole thing, I will. I'm not into any edit cuts at all. I think the internet's rigged and scripted, fake. I think all of Medium is fake. I think it's better to know. That's my main number one point. But now this second point now I'm making a real video right now on Jiddu Krishnamurti. This potentially can get some page views, but I think I'm shadow banned and stuff. I'm done caring about the other stuff because I won. I declared victory and it's over. I won. They got their faces are so tweaking out. I think they were being directed to watch my videos without the view counts getting included. That's my theory. I think they know all about it. I picked up a vibe. I pick up the vibes that they know all about it. They're waving the finger. Like I go into that what was that from that Twilight Zone episode, the kids waving the finger, and then they're all waving the finger. There's something weird about it. What am I gonna? What can I say? I think that was a Freemason mug from Lee Camp. Could have sworn also the page count was at 33, and then it dropped down to 32. So I think there's some sort of Mickey Mouse games, gaslighting attempts. I see mimicry. I see. I see. I'll say something in a video, and then like a week or whenever after, it'll get just outright stolen. So, like I was saying, how I was wondering if the HB Gary thing was even, if that was even a real scoop or was it scripted. And then at Reddit conspiracy, they had that some guy made like a 3 sentence. That was his whole thing. He didn't try to explain it or anything. And that isn't the only example. And I kind of have to stop. I stopped going over there. I tried to. They definitely know every website we visit. They know it's like a one-way mirror. They see exactly what we're doing. And then when someone like myself reverses it, they don't like that. They don't like when someone can do what they do but even better. And I'm only doing it on behalf of everyone and in self-defense. Enough said on that. So I'm not into edit cuts, but I'm also not into saying anything too stupid. So I take my time and I measure the words as much as possible. So right, I'm gonna put this on pause and then I'm just gonna start this process of I'll play that thing. I'll play this thing from that channel, giving them credit. You can go to that channel if you want to watch the whole thing. So I'm going to edit out some and then give my response. Thanks. Take care. I hope you enjoy this one. This one's for people like myself and anyone out there who's into Krishnamurti. You realize he's just a regular human being like any of us. I'm saying I'm mad at him and I think he's overrated and it pains me to say because it's no good to find out that there's no one to believe in. But in Krishnamurti's defense, he said it wasn't about himself and that it's not entertainment. I don't think he was actually that original. The more one thinks about it, and my conclusion on him is that he believed he had the hidden wisdom, but I think it was by default. It was by accident. I think he had aphantasia, which I also have. It's like the inability. It's like a spectrum. It's we don't see the pictures. We don't make pictures in our head like most people apparently do. It's another one of those things like perfect pitch or being pregnant. Okay, that should make the point, whatever that was. Okay, so that's it. We're going on pause, and this should be good. This will be like the first real video I've made in a long time. I've made a few good ones. They're back in the archive somewhere. Informative, creative, like a summer project type arts and crafts, but with slicing and dicing, chopping and mopping, video and audio. Okay, on with the show.
Krishnamurti, how old were you when you first heard about the Theosophists' plans for you?
Must have been about 10. I don't remember exactly.
You don't remember how it felt at the time?
No, not at all.
Did you really believe that you were the chosen
May
one?
I tell you something? When they found us, we were a very poor family and all the rest of it, Brahmins. And I'm afraid I can't tell you with direct memory because I don't remember it actually. I'm not pretending, I'm just stating facts. I believe when they found us, we were very weak. And one of the principal people who found us said, he's going to be the great teacher and so on, so on, so on. They formed an organization around me. I was the head of it, and thousands of members, money, all the business of it.
They didn't use any drugs or hypnosis or anything like that?
Goodness sake, no. They are not that kind of people. They were very, very serious. They weren't charlatans. They weren't using a good old gimmick or trick to exploit people. They really, please believe me, sincerely believed what they were doing. It wasn't just a hoax. It wasn't to exploit people. They staked all their reputation, all their work, everything on this boy. So there was no question of drugs or hypnosis or suggestions made. They said, this boy is going to be used by the great teacher in whom they believed absolutely.
And why did they believe this? Why did they believe that you had been chosen?
Because they were clairvoyant.
They really were?
Probably they were. At the time they discovered the boy, they certainly must have been. Because they said, this boy is going to be the great teacher. His body will be used. It's not a question of your belief. No. I'm just telling you what they sincerely, honestly, and deeply believed. They believed because they said, this happens every 2,000 or whatever years. A great teacher appears on earth when the world is in chaos. And he will give new kind of teachings and so on. That's their fundamental, radical belief.
They had some sort of occult instructions?
Yes, instructions, which they believed and they followed it.
And you did too, of course, at first. But when did you first have doubts about the pattern they'd done for you?
You see, I never had doubts. Forgive me using that word. You see, the boy must have been very vague and not all there, if I can put it that way. I think he must have been a very dreamy boy. And so whatever they said didn't deeply penetrate.
Okay, I'm back. I grabbed an excerpt, 3 minutes, 15 seconds. He called the Theosophy Society, he called them clairvoyant. He called them clairvoyant to pick him as a teacher. It was a bad take, I think. And then he said they were sincere. It wasn't a hoax. They believed it. He made himself out to be this great thinker, teacher. yet above. He didn't want to single out the Theosophy Society for being the nut jobs they are. And they're like the they're like our government. They're them. Them or they. The people Krishnamurti build out on are the so-called Illuminati, so to speak. So that's about it. I grabbed a couple minutes from that. Krishnamurti did not sound good. I give up on him. I'm not giving up on Eric Fromm or Herbert Marcuse. They're my two favorite. And Hannah Arendt, I like her, but I'm not going to go chasing them down either. I did get into Eric Fromm. Yes, I'll vouch for Eric Fromm. C. Wright Mills is pretty good too. He's the greatest sociologist of all time. No one's ever heard of him. That's how good he was. C. Wright Mills. Then they stole his lines. The power elite, he coined some phrases. They just outright steal. What a joke this world is. They have to script everything. I think it's funny what it came up with. I think it's funny that I confronted them. I think it's even funny that I'm exposing Krishnamurti as a tool. Ultimately, he was a tool. Krishnamurti was just like any of us who did the the college route. He tries to make it. He wants the cake and to eat it too. That he wants the Theosophy to have a certain amount of gravitas, which makes it legit for him to create a new point of departure off of what he was with them into his own shtick, his own independent shtick. He wants that cake. Now, if they're nut jobs who kidnapped him, which is what actually happened, I mean, pure nut jobs, Aleister Crowley nut jobs, Hollywood, all that stuff, Joe Rogan, all this, stuff, all of it that I quit, that I try to say, quit it, quit social media, do it now. I try to explain all that. So anyway, I have attention deficit, so I just forgot what I'm talking about. But basically, I don't regret the all that time listening, watching Krishnamurti. He's right. One has to figure it out for themselves. And that's why I got something out of him, even though I'm throwing him into. All right, he's still better than Alan Watts. Alan Watts, though, I will never forgive. I will never trust that guy. I will never listen to him again. And I warn everyone about Alan Watts, as did Eric Fromm. It's in the archive somewhere. I found it. All right, take care, everybody. This has been a special presentation of the Tokyo Shemp News and Entertainment Network.